Today, I'm going to talk about a subject that I don't often talk about on any of my YouTube channels, and yet it is critical to everything we do. And it's glassware, but this is no ordinary glassware. And I'm going to explain what this is in a minute, but first I kind of want to dive into a story about why I kind of actually do preach about this. This is definitely one for you guys that have pub sheds, pubs, bars in your back gardens, but actually those of you that probably in the industry that have a high turnover of customers, very busy establishments. This stuff will be perfect for you. Now, I want to take you back a few years. I used to do events quite a lot, you know, big, more than the sort of the cocktail masterclass that I do now, but it's more the bigger events, 30, 40, 50 people, house parties, birthdays, that kind of stuff. And quite often, you know, sometimes I would supply the glasses, quite often the clients would have their own glasses. But I always remember this story. This went probably now at the time of shooting this about 5 or 6 years ago, which kind of changed my whole perceptions of what I did. So I want to set the scene for you. I kind of turned up, it was a party for about 45 people, friends, family. It was started in the early afternoon, went on to the evenings, very much a family affair. You've got kids running around, you've got your pets, your dogs running around, and I'm a big dog fan as well. So, you know, me and dogs, we get on really, really well. So kind of as the night wore on, you know, you've got these glasses kind of sort of on tables and full of drinks and that, and the kids are starting to get a bit more energetic. They've got their E numbers in, they're playing with the pets, the dogs are running around. Then all of a sudden you get a few glass breakages, few smashed there. 1 or 2 is not too bad, but as you know, as the night wore on, there were more and more of these glass breaking all over the sort of the patio, in the grass, and it was just a living nightmare. And a couple of the dogs, kids got a few cuts as well, but a couple of the dogs had to go emergency to the vets because they had glass in their paws and, you know, it was cutting them open. And that's the point I want to make. That is what these guys, this is all about, because these negate all that. You don't get breakages with these. No, these are not toughened glasses. These are actually plastic polycarbonate glasses. I should say polycarbonate, not plastic. And they've come a long way since the days when I used to be running bars, from the late 90s through to the sort of 2010s. We couldn't get quality stuff like this. It was all flimsy, disposable plastic. Even in those days, one of the very first glasses that came out was kind of like a martini glass. And it looked even nothing like this. And this is kind of, without no disrespect to this manufacturer, this is kind of at the lower end of what they do, but it still looks really good. So what are these? These are Utopia, as I say, polycarbonate glasses. We've got 2 ranges here in front of me, basically LUCENT and what's the other one? The Diamond. And I will link to these in the descriptions below, and you can easily search these out on the Drinkstuff website. But I just want to take a minute to kind of appreciate the quality and how visually stunning these look, even with drinks. These are, I'll give you the kind of the sort of bullet points of these, but these are, as we sell a few brands here, but virtually indestructible, virtually unbreakable. Let's just take this for instance. You know, I could do that all day on there and it ain't gonna break. It really isn't. I wouldn't like, I'm 16 stone, I wouldn't like to stand on one of these, but they're reported that you can stand on these. You know, they are guaranteed for multiple washes now. Back in the early days, and I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of wash cycles. Back in the early days, 4 or 5 wash cycles in a glass washer. And you kind of go, you know how plastic goes, it kind of goes grey and a bit scratchy. These, because of how they're finished, will kind of give you that perfect crystal look every single time for hundreds of washes. Now I know even in front of me, we will have different favorites, okay? I've got my favorites here. For instance, I'm not even a huge gin balloon lover, but I really like that. It's a sort of classy, you could use it as a wine glass, to be honest, but sort of slightly dimpled kind of gin balloon there. There, kind of clear the way, push everything to one side so you can kind of see stuff that I'm seeing. So this, you know, decent sized gin balloon, red wine glass, whatever you want to call it. I love this range as well. This would be perfect. This would be perfect for picnics, to be fair. But even that, look at that sort of coupe glass in there. And it's the bar top that's kind of not very flat. That's why these are rocking all over there. We've kind of got little sort of rises, like peaks and troughs on a bar top. but they look amazing as well. They look classy, they look the business. If you're at home, if you're entertaining, you want to make a great impression, perfect for that. If you run a pub, a bar, a hotel, and you want to make a great impression, but you don't want those glasses, you don't want to sort of risk breaking glasses, they look perfect. If you want to go a little bit more classy, perhaps you might think those are more classy, but these, you know, again, we've got a couple of champagne flutes here. Again, it's a wine glass, but I always use these type of glasses for spritzes, Aperol spritzes. You know, these are just, they're never gonna break. They're just not, you know, you could really, if you put a lot of pressure on there, you could probably snap that. I grant you that. But, you know, in every day, dropping off the tables, getting smacked, you know, dropping from a high height, they're just never going to break. Now, a lot of those are for, you know, for cocktails and things like that, your gin and tonics. I'm not going to leave the beer people out either, but before we get down to that, we've got loads of sort of highballs that we can, and sort of rocks glasses. Again, you would be quite happy drinking like a really nice, neat whiskey or a brandy or something out of that. It's really quality, you know, and you don't really get the seams of how to sort of join together as well. They are perfectly finished. So we've got those, you know, we've got a mixture of sort of highballs and tumblers there. And then we get onto the larger, the beer glasses, the pint glasses, you know, those kind of things, soft drinks out in pub gardens. These, I won't lie, are the cheaper end of the spectrum. And you can probably tell because visually, aesthetically, they don't look as good as what some of these do. But they are cheaper and they do the job equally as well. So we've got a couple of pints, a couple of sort of your standard sort of highballs, yeah, you know, half pint glasses, slightly smaller, sort of like whiskey glasses, you know, shot glasses essentially, if you're drinking neat spirits. But this is the kind of cool range that I do like. Again, not maybe as visually appealing as some of them, but these are fantastic because these, I don't know whether you'll see the little ridge on there, and this won't demonstrate that well because I've not got 2 or 3 of the same, but they are stackable. They do fit inside. And again, all 4 of these are different sizes, so they're not going to be, I'm not going to be able to show you. But what they essentially do is they all kind of fit. If you imagine these are all the same glasses, they all stack inside each other because of that little lip that's just in there. They're never going to get stuck. You know, they're never going to go right to the bottom. So these are stackable glasses that you'd have kind of like that if they were all the same size, which is perfect for the high volumes. So if you're just building your bar in your back garden, your pub shed, or if you kind of, as I said, if you're an establishment, hotel, bar, you know, pub that does deal with a lot of breakages, you know, do have a look at plastic polycarbonate. I've got to stop saying plastic, but polycarbonate sort of glassware. We've got quite a lot of the range here at Drinkstuff. There'll be, as I said, there'll be links in the description where you can go and check them out. Different price ranges. We even sell more expensive, more classier versions of what these are. But I just think these, what I've shown today from Utopia, are pretty much the all-rounder that are suitable for, even the top end classiest of home bars, right down to your average sort of pub sheds, which nothing wrong with them. But, if you probably wouldn't be serving a glass of champagne up like that in your average pub shed, but you would do in a sort of like a 40, 50, 60 grand home bar.